Liftoff and the clock has started.
Goal.
And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting Vobes One-Eyed Kenobi Showbie with me, the lovely Richard Vobes, and you.
And me, the lovely Julia.
Yes.
So cool.
Sorry about that.
Bloopers already.
Yes, bloopers already. Just as we started the show, Julia was monitoring on the thing, because we now have adverts at the front of the show, and an advert suddenly burst out loud. You may or may not have heard it, but we did hear. So there was a slight panic. It's Monday. It's the 17th. It's January. It's 2022. And how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Do you know, I saw 2022 written down the other day, and I thought it said Zoz.
Zoz. Yes, everyone's just having a zoz.
I was like, what's Zoz?
Zoz. It's like having a ziz, but it's a zoz.
Is it like zhuzh? Like zhuzhing
Yeah, when you
food?
zhizh it up, you've always got to jizz it up, and it works wonders. Ramiboo says, hello, Richard and the lovely Julia. Hello to
Hello,
you,
lovely Lisa.
How at the devil are you in Oregon? By the way, I don't know whether you saw in the show not so long ago, we had your postcards. And here they are. Thank you very much.
Lovely,
we did show them
lovely.
on the show. Somebody's trying desperate to ring in. Let's say a quick hello to the desperate person desperately
Hello.
trying to ring.
Quick hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Who's that?
Zane.
Hello, Zane.
Hi, Zane. How are you doing today?
How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good. I gather you've been to a football match.
Yes, I have. On Friday night.
Now, you sent in a whole load of videos of, is it Brighton and Hove playing football?
Yeah.
Was it, who won? Who was...
They drew against Crystal Palace.
Oh, did they? Oh, well, that's very good. I mean, I don't know the first thing about football, but you did send in some pictures. I was going to show them a little bit later on, but I'll show them now just to show. But I won't be able to play the videos in, I'm afraid, because that's it's football. We don't really follow football on this channel, I'm sorry to say. But here we go. This is you. So this is at the stadium, is it? Up in Falmer.
Yeah.
Very nice stadium. And I believe... Oh, look, there's a whole load of people being interviewed at the end there. Very jolly. And then there's a picture of you. I assume it's you. It could be just anybody. Well, you know, we're taking a risk there.
That's the Sky Sports presenters.
Right. And then we get a picture.
Yeah.
Is that you in the beanie hat?
With a selfie. Did
Yeah.
you do a selfie? Yes. Well, it's
Very
nice
nice.
to see your face, Zane.
So there you...
Yeah.
Nice to see your little perspective on the stadium there.
Absolutely.
Though
Looks...
otherwise, I'm not interested. But seeing your face there, that's nice. Seeing, you know.
It's...
seeing the corner
And
face.
I also sent in some couple of videos.
You did. You did. Were they all of the football match?
Yes.
Yes. We probably won't show those, unfortunately, because this isn't a football show, and it would kind of be pretty irrelevant, really. But it's nice to see you out and about and sharing your face.
Yeah, thank you ever so much for sending the stuff in, though. And,
You're
yeah.
welcome.
It looks very busy. Was it busy there?
Yeah, it was packs. It was like jam packs.
Like jam-packed. And Crystal Palace, presumably, it was... I guess you don't support them. Do you support the Brighton and Hove? The Seagulls,
Yeah.
are they?
Yeah, and it's Brighton's rivals.
Is it? You see,
Yeah.
unfortunately, I'm not into football, so none of this makes any sense. I can't even tell you who a centre forward is.
Tell you what, though, it is very interesting to see inside the stadium. I've driven past it enough times. It is interesting to see inside.
Yeah.
'Cause otherwise, I haven't actually ever seen inside.
I've been
And
in...
looking at the number of people there, I don't think I ever will with my own eyes.
You don't like... You're not a keen...
Oh no, that's far too many people.
Oh, hang on. Sorry about that. I started the theme off again. Yeah, no. Well, there you go. That's it. I'm glad to see it. And thank you, Zane, for sharing your photos.
And I'm actually watching the show right now.
Yeah, that's right. That's because the show is on right now, and we've been showing your photographs. So that's been great. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We're going to move on.
I'm actually a season ticket holder.
Are you?
Yeah?
Does that mean you can go to any match you like?
Yeah, except not the away ones, or not the FA Cup ones.
Right, okay.
Ian McCagan is asking, Zane, did you get a pie for half time?
No, I had Uncle Sam's.
Oh.
An Uncle Sam's. What is an Uncle Sam's when
Is
it's
that a franchise?
Is that a franchise, an Uncle Sam's? Is that
Yeah.
a hamburger or something?
Yeah, it's a takeaway place.
Right. Is that nice?
Yeah.
If you were to rank it out of 10, what would you score it out of?
10.
Right, so it's really nice. What's your favourite Uncle Sam's burger?
Just a chili burger.
Oh, chili. I like chili. Do you like very hot chili? Spicy chili.
I like some very spicy.
Do you? And do you have chili on its own at home?
No, I have it with I have it with steak and chicken and that.
Right.
With all the meat.
Yeah. How lovely.
Yeah.
Sounds delightful. Well, listen, Zane, it's been fantastic to see your pictures and also to have you on the phone. We're going to have to move on, unfortunately, but thank you so much.
Thank you for starting off the show for us.
You're welcome.
You take care now. Look after yourself.
I will. Bye.
Bye.
for now, bye.
There we go. That's Zane, who literally kicked off the show, and I will let you know when the interval comes. Oh, no, it's not called the interval, is it? What do they call it at the point where they all have a break and go back and retouch their makeup? Half time.
Half time. Yeah.
There we go. Not half term.
No.
But there we are. Anyway, yes, the phone number is on the screen. Julia's going to tell you exactly what it is.
0793 4746 790.
So there we go. And of course, you're very welcome to ring. Now, we do have one video tonight on the beginning of a Monday, a date with Blanche.
Ooh.
I think it's Blanche and not Blanche. but it might be Blanche. Who knows? It's good old Bernie. Bernie's got a date, but we have another phone call.
Another phone call already.
It's all kicking off tonight. Hello and welcome to the Vobes Show. And goodbye. So there we are. That was somebody ringing in and promptly hanging up. So that's the order of the week. Let me tell you that tomorrow we would be doing an extra show as we did last week with Dan. We've got Ricky coming in.
It's a royal we.
That's yes.
You'll be doing the show tomorrow.
I'll be doing the show. But what I mean is the Vobes Show, that sort of entity as it is.
The Vobes ship show. Yeah.
Yes, it is a ship
the
show.
Vobes Show ship.
It's all ship-shape and Bristol fashion. We had Dan last time, Ricky and his van this time, but no van, so just Ricky.
Minus the van.
Yeah, minus the van. So
Ricky D!
So that will be exciting and thrilling, I'm sure. And if it's not, I shall punch him in the face. How are you and what have you been doing over the weekend? Have you been doing anything interesting? We've had some sunshine down here in the southeast. Have you had it? What have you been up to? Be interested to know, if only to help us get through the show. I've been out, you'll be pleased to know, doing another video in Sussex.
Yes.
On the border path. Everybody put out on Friday, or was it Saturday? Saturday, Sussex Border Show on the other channel. And everyone was going, oh my goodness, there he is, he's out again, thank goodness. You know, more, we want more, we don't want any of the other rubbish, we just want more. And so, like a good, well-behaved boy, I went out today and made you another one. I know. And that will be it until February. So you'll have to put up with all the rest, because the rest of the week, I gather, is pretty ropey. So we won't be going on the Sussex border path. But it's like buses. You're expecting the third one now, aren't you? But there isn't the third one. So there we go. Any interesting comments? Lovely Julia.
I think we've got some chatting between them two. Colonel Cragrati says Ricky is Richard's rival with his van and coasters.
Oh yes, coasters, I have to say. But I understand that Ricky was not happy with his van. He thought, no, I've seen it on the Vobes Show, not on the Vobes Show, I've seen it on the Bald Explorer. It looked rubbish. So he's pulled it all to bits, apparently. He will tell us tomorrow what he's done. But I think he's doing a carbon copy of me. Hello, welcome to the show.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening.
It's the Lone Texan Ranger from Southwater.
Oh, the Lone Texan Ranger. How are you, Texan Ranger?
Yes.
What have you got in your branch?
Terrenson Ranger.
Oh, Terrenson.
Is it Terrenson?
Terrence, yeah.
Terrenson Ranger. So,
Yes.
what are you throwing on your range up there, Terrence Ranger?
Oh, home on the range where the deer and the antelope graze.
Any antelope up your neck of the woods? There are deer, aren't there, in Southwater? Do you get any in that country park of yours?
I have seen them once, but we get a visiting heron from time to time. You know, that big grey and white bird.
But it's sort of like a stork, but not. Not as big as a stork, obviously.
We don't get the storks in from the Napa State. They get fed down there. They don't get fed if they come to the country park.
Ah, yeah, you got to, you fight for yourself down in the country park. At least you got a better chance these days, because wasn't it a brickyard at one point? The country park used to be able to go in and have a bit of countryside and get a brick thrown at you.
Oh yes, I've been.
Southwater.
Yeah.
Yes,
Sorry.
back in the it closed. I wasn't around those days, but it closed in the mid '80s, I would gather.
How old are you then? You're not 40 or something, is it? It weren't around in those days. What, in the 1980s? God, you're a young man, aren't you?
I wasn't around in the vicinity. Put it that way.
Oh, I see. Yes, of course. Yes, there we go.
Anyway, yesterday, I went up to Kingsfold, which is just north of Horsham.
Yeah, where the Wise Old Owl is now, the pub.
Exactly, yes. I met my eldest son and his fiancée in the Owl.
Did you? Did you know that used to be called Cromwell's, which was a nightclub? And I used to go there and fire eat on their little stage. They had a little stage where the girls that had the bodies that, glistened with the boobs and everything else, and very skimpy what have you, they would do all their diddly dancing. And then
Not just boob, but the boobs.
the boobs, exactly. And then at 9 o'clock or was it later? It might have been 10 or 11 because it was a nightclub. It was quite late. I remember thinking, oh God, I mean, I was, I had my young children. I used to turn up. I'd been working out. I got myself ripped. And I would get up on the stage and strip down to just a little short things.
Skimpy
things for the nightclub. And then I would light these firebrands and roll them around the body. And I would eat the fire and blow the fire inside. And everyone would go, whoa, whoa. And, you'd see these young women who would be like, whoa, look at him, whoa. And then afterwards I would come back into the bar to have a drink, and it's still in my sort of skimpy stuff. And the girls would come over and then they would go, ooh, you did off pong? And then they would walk away because I reeked of paraffin because I was drenched in
Strange thing, that.
Yeah. So that seemed to put them off, which is just a good job because I was married.
I just had a naughty thought. Were you wearing tassels on your upper parts?
No.
Well, you dropped a ball there, didn't you?
Yes, I dropped.
Or a nipple.
A nipple, a tassel nipple.
Yes, they probably matched your long johns anyway.
Yeah, there you go. Daily Walker says, I knew I'd seen you somewhere before. Yeah, so if ever you've been to Cromwell's nightclub when would that have been? Probably, let me think, the 90s? Must have been in the 90s. In the mid-90s.
I moved into Southwark in 2006.
You what? Sorry, Terry?
Yeah, I moved into Southwater from Horsham in 2006.
Yeah. Oh well, that's going further south, isn't it? Kingsfold is sort of north of Horsham, up towards.
Oh yeah, Kingsfold. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the burgers are very expensive. £12.99.
Are they? Bloody hell, that's expensive. Jackie HW says, I imagine you didn't wear your long johns then, Richard. No. No, but I think I wore things that went to the top of my knees. And I had a leather jacket, which I'm sure I've shown in the thing.
The red one.
No, not that leather jacket. That jerkin type medieval jacket with and a big belt. I used my snug and cozy belt at one point, but prior to that, yeah, it was kind of. I wasn't trying to be raunchy or sexual, if I can say that word in the Vobes Show. I was just trying to be, more like caveman, I suppose, manly.
I have a slightly personal question for you.
Oh, here we go.
Nothing to do with long johns.
Oh, thank God for that. Oh, nice.
In your days of fire eating, did you ever burn your tongue?
I didn't so much burn my tongue. I mean, you can hold the firebrands between your teeth, but don't hold them too long because the fillings start to melt. But I did actually burn the skin on my arm. I was testing out some barbecue fuel, which is lethal. Never do fire eating with barbecue because paraffin is just. Well, it's carcinogenic.
Is that when you actually lost your hair?
And Stanley was watching me through the window in the door, and I was outside experimenting. I was thinking I must find another fuel that's nicer. Anyway, I got this barbecue stuff, got the firebrand, and I was rolling it on me. And of course, the firebrand, the barbecue fuel, which is like I suppose a white spirit, it's more like petrol than anything. Just immediately ignited on me, whereas paraffin is actually quite difficult to get alight. And it caught hold, and I was wearing a nylon short-sleeved shirt.
Did that stick to you?
Melted and stuck to me, and my goodness, it caught fire first of all, and Stanley was watching me, and he was just laughing. He was about 3 or 4.
Oh, he didn't know.
No, he didn't really know, but he was, and I've still got the scar, very faint now, on that arm. The arm that grows out of my trunk.
I just got finally one quick question for Julia.
Mm-hmm.
I believe you visited the Perch in Lancing recently with one of a fellow community bald explorer.
I did. Had a lovely time.
Yes, I went there about 5 years and bought a coffee with someone, and I didn't stay too long because it was so noisy. It's dog friendly, isn't it?
It is dog friendly.
But it wasn't the dogs that were making any noise. They were all sitting there very patiently waiting for a bone or two.
Or was it children, or was it just the chatter?
But it was It was the human beings
They were being
making
noisy.
so much noise.
About 5 years ago, it must have been close to its new opening,
Yeah, it must have
wasn't
been
it?
relatively
Yeah,
new then.
yes, it was just after it opened. Yeah.
Ah, yeah.
I think it's chilled out a bit now. People, yes, it can be, quite a little bit of a hubbub in there, but I actually quite like that because it means, your conversation gets lost in all of the conversations.
And you go, speak up, I can't hear you.
What was that, love?
When it opened, it had hard flooring, so I think that sort of exaggerated any hubbub.
Yeah, oh, right. Andy Dalglish
up.
is saying, Memoirs of a Sword Swallower by Daniel P. Mannix. A fantastic read. Is it a genuine read? I used to know a bloke called Stromboli. He was a fairly famous sword swallower, Stromboli, and he used to do all the carnivals and circuses. That was the word I was looking for. Circuses, and I've worked with him a few times. But when I worked with him, he must have been in his late 60s, early 70s. This is a sort of bald walnut-faced individual, very bronze, but a bit overweight now. But he would swallow these swords like no. I mean, you just couldn't get. When he was hungry, you had to nip down to Sainsbury's. Excuse me, got any swords? Have you got any swords? We've got swordfish. No. They've got to be steel swords. That's all he eats. Come on, you must have some surely in the back. And he would. Wilkinson's. They should have had swords.
Wilkinson swords, yes.
Yeah, they should have.
You never ate razor blades, I trust.
No, there is a thing you can do razor blade. Razor blades is another one of these things that people do, and again, it's like all these. There's a law of physics that makes all these things possible. I used to stick a 4-inch nail up my nose, and
Doesn't everyone?
and you can hammer it in as you do, but of course there's a cavity above your nose and you can actually put something in it. Once you get past the I want to sneeze bit, you can stick up to 4 inches. You can't put 6 inches in, but you can get a 4-inch nail inside this cavity and it will go. And then you can pretend by sort of bashing but stopping abruptly that you're hammering it into your nose. I never did the hammering. I just used to stick it up there and then pull it out like this and hand it to people because they thought it was a telescopic nail.
By the way, sorry to interrupt. Lynn B says the perch is lovely, but there is something wrong with the acoustics. So you're not the only one to have noticed, Terry.
Maybe it's that curved ceiling that just amplifies the sound.
It's kind of an L shape, isn't it? I mean, there are mirrors and lots of windows. So. Don't know.
Anyway, I look forward to seeing you both with nose piercings in the future.
Yes, we'll do plenty of that. There we are. Thank you very much, Terry.
Okay.
Lovely to talk to you.
Signing off as a dead parrot that's fell off his perch.
Oh,
Cheers.
bless you. Poor old
Bye.
Terry. There we go. That parrot is well and truly dead. But we like... thank you, Terry, for ringing in and...
Always good to have a catch-up with
bringing
you.
us some comedy there, which is lovely to see and hear and what have you. And took me down memory lane for a moment.
Yes. John B says the great Stromboli is dead now.
Oh, is he?
Died aged 92.
Yeah. Yes. Well, he, as I say, he was quite old. I mean, and we're going back about 25, nearly 30 years when I worked with him. So, as I say, he was in his late 60s, so that makes sense.
Linda Kane says she says she's sure she remembers the great Stromboli in Brighton, and she also says he died at 92.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, he wasn't a very tall bloke, and you did what I always... I mean, he was a little bit smaller than me, but I mean, you think of a sword swallower having to be very tall with a very long chest, because you get these, and they really do swallow the sword.
Thorax.
That is the thing. It's not a gimmick. But again, you get past the swallow bit, and as long as you put your head right back and you open up the tube, you can do it.
Yeah.
I thought of doing it, and I started to test myself with wooden spoons. I know that sounds silly, but that was...
Well, it sounds a lot more sensible than swords.
So
or
what you would
knives.
do is you'd get some olive oil on the handle of a wooden... I mean, I wasn't trying to swallow the spoon end. No, thank you.
I didn't imagine that.
No.
For some reason, I did not imagine that.
I couldn't get it down. There was a bloody great dish on it. No, the handle. And you do that, and you get the what you would call it. Especially, it's best to have a nice polished one, wooden spoon, and without any sort of ribs on it or little end, sometimes they have ribs, so it just needs to be one or a piece of dowel. But the wooden spoon is generally turned at the end, so it's got a nice soft end for penetration. I can say that. So you liberally oil it up with a bit of olive oil, and then you I couldn't get past the gag reflex. I just could not do that.
I understand the theory of it, but I can't understand how anyone can get past the gag reflex.
No, and
I'd tear myself apart.
Cold steel down there must be. So you probably have to warm up the sword first. Yeah. Otherwise, but of course, whatever you do, you wouldn't want to be in that position and then sneeze or anything where you go achoo, because obviously you're probably going to slice.
Really bad, really bad. Colonel Cragrati says at the Bold Explorer, Richard should write Memoirs of a Fire Eater by the Bold Extinguisher.
Yeah, yes, I mean, I did quite a lot of fire eating, and people used to say, it's carcinogenic. And I said, yes, but at the moment it's paying my rent, and it helped me pay the mortgage off. So it is very difficult when you're doing something that you know is not terribly healthy, but people are paying you a lot of money to blow flames. So I'm sure, I don't know whether other people have got other jobs in which they, for a very short space of time, you could earn quite a lot of money doing something which perhaps other people can't do.
Sean James Cameron says, just found out there is an actual street called Memory Lane. It's on the Maudsley Hospital estate, next to the dementia ward.
Oh, is it?
Is that true?
Is that true? Next to the dementia ward. Well, I'm sure is that a recent thing? Julie Berry says, well, what a conversation to walk into. Yes, sorry about that. Bit of
You're welcome.
It can happen to anyone.
Yeah. Lord Geoffrey Harrison says, Julia, did you know Major Tom was a street magician in Brixton? That's where David Bowie got the name from. And the magician Major Tom was Tom Major's dad, the Prime Minister.
Oh, right. Oh, there you go. How about that?
Mind blown.
Do they swallow swords down, says Station Master's Choice, because they don't like it up 'em? Yeah, probably.
Come on. Whoa. Come on. Or badum-tish.
Do you want the badum-tish? Hang on a second. I've got to go and get it.
There we are.
There we are. How about that? There we are. Nice little badum-tish for the audience. Keep them happy.
Seabird says, was the surgeon that helped your son in Haywards Heath called Sorin Bukur?
Oh, yes, Bucher. Yes, that was him. Yes, he's a sort of tubby bloke with black hair, Italian, I think. I don't know.
Such a way with words.
I couldn't remember his first name, but Mr. Bucher or something, yes.
He had his appointment today.
Oh, did he?
Seabird had his appointment today.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, well done. If you saw Mr. Bucher, he's actually a brain surgeon, and he does it. With
his hands, I should imagine. I hope
well,
it's
he
not
might
with his
have
feet.
a machine and variously. He doesn't do it with his feet. No, but Billy was offered, when he had his brain surgery, a laser treatment or intrusive, proper, human brain surgery with a hammer and chisel. And we were trying to work out what is going to be the best. But the laser treatment, apparently, doesn't, funnily enough, you'd think laser and all the rest of it, it didn't have 100% success rate.
Every time you say laser, I can hear
laser.
Mike. Yes!
Mike Myers. Laser. Apparently it doesn't have 100% success, and you may have to have it again in 6 months' time and things like that. So, and also it can cause other effects because the laser might, on its way in, hit other parts of the brain. So Billy had time to think about this, and he decided that he would go for Mr. Bucher, who did it, whether he's got a machine to help him or however they do it. I mean, goodness knows. But I can tell you, my son fully recovered, and actually, he was brighter afterwards than before. And that's a weird thing to say because there were so many...
I'm sure it wasn't that he was stupid before.
No. It's just there was something about that because
it's probably because he
might
have been building
getting
up for a long time. Maybe.
Well, I think what was happening was he wasn't getting 100% of the blood that he should have been getting circulating, so he wasn't getting the oxygen.
His brain wasn't functioning.
So there was like
full
a
capacity.
5% not working, and then after the op, they were always on the the negative side, saying, well, he may not remember things, he may have a stroke.
They've got to prepare you for the worst,
Absolutely.
haven't they? Because, heaven forbid they don't, and then the worst happens.
But it was fantastic. So, Seabird, don't worry.
You're in good hands.
Very good hands. If Billy's anything to go by, he still has to take some medication, anti-seizure tablets, but they're very simple. There's just a precaution. So go for it. Audrey says something to Ramiboo. Someone's put a green tick up. I don't know what that means. Andy Thompson says, Tubby Man with black hair sounds like Go Compare Man. Yes, it's funny because he was actually singing a lot of that sort of... Go Compare.
Yeah, might we get a strike for that? I was like, no.
Go compare one brain surgeon to another. Go compare. If he brings out a soldering iron halfway through, then you've gone to the wrong one. That's go repair. Anyway, enough of this.
Yes, Ian McCagan says, all the best, Seabird. Let's everyone send lots of positive and healing vibes to Seabird.
Do you know, have you got a date for your op? I know when Billy had his bleed, he had to wait a year until he could have the op, because they had to wait for all the excess blood and everything to clear out of the brain. And that was a difficult time, because at any time he could have another of these hemorrhages. So,
good job you only lived that far from the hospital.
Yeah,
a little bit from the hospital.
Well, it was 45 minutes to.
Haywards Heath. Because the other one,
It's Haywards Heath. And when we used to go to Haywards Heath, I know that David Cameron was the Prime Minister, because when we parked at Haywards Heath, I nearly called it an airport then, hospital. One of the paying meters didn't work. You'd press the button, you'd get a ticket, but you didn't have to put any money in. So we sometimes Billy's mum would independently get there, and we would get there independent from her. So sometimes we would say, have you parked at the parking meter? But we didn't want other people to know that there was this meter in case it got repaired. So we just said we need a code word for it. So we just called it the Prime Minister. So we said, have you parked by the Prime Minister? Which of course that's why I always remember it was David Cameron, because he was the Prime Minister at the time. And we go, oh yes, the Prime Minister is still working in our favour, which was quite hilarious, really. It's the things you do, isn't it? Life is...
I'd laugh if you later found out that actually it was free on those times.
Yeah, well, anyway. You could put your money in, but the money would come back out and you'd press the button. Whereas others, others, it did eventually get fixed and we did have to pay in the end, but it wasn't terribly expensive.
Well, that saved you a little bit at least.
Yeah, it gave us something to talk about as well whilst you're waiting for, news of your son.
Tilly Dog says, I'm 5 days post hemithyroidectomy surgery. Very sore. I bet you are. Bless you.
What the hell is a I
can't remember what hemi means, but thyroidectomy. It means ectomy is removing the thyroid. An ectomy, not egg-to-me.
Oh, right. Throwing eggs to me.
Yeah.
I can tell you what it is. The removal of one of the lobes of the thyroid gland. The thyroid gland is situated in the lower part of the front of the neck. The lower part of the front. So it's not this then, is it? That's your Adam's apple, isn't it? Isn't that the side?
Thyroid glands. Oh, down here.
Let's have a look. We'll get a picture up for you. Just for
down here.
For those who are squeamish. Oh my God! No, don't look. Oh gosh! No, wait. Hang on. I've got to get out.
Can you show the diagram?
Yeah, I'll try and just show you the diagram. So that was a bit.
You'll have me going.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Here we go. Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. We're nothing if we're not thorough in there. So there's the thyroid gland. There's the larynx.
Did you say lower glow? No.
I've gone into it again. I can't remember. I've lost the description. Hang on, I'll go back. Oh, no, wait. Oh, don't look. Stop it.
No, change it to all. That's it.
The removal of the lobes on the thyroid gland.
Or one of the lobes.
One of the lobes.
I go back to the picture again?
There it is.
So I'm guessing...
Look, left lobe, right lobe.
Right, okay, so one of the lobes. Yeah.
One of the lobes.
All right, okay.
So...
Understood.
Gosh. So that's what you have. When you have an underactive one or an overactive one, that's where it is.
We have successfully put John B off of his dinner.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And Kerry Baldwin is busy vomiting.
I hope nobody was eating offal.
Feel awful for you.
Yes, we do apologise. You never quite know what's going to come up in this show. Is that another...
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. I don't think I put the...
Have you got a one?
No. Oh, I have. Somewhere, but it'd take an age to find it.
Yeah.
I've got the... Penny drops.
Tilly Dog says her operation was on the right side.
Oh, right. Tilly Dog.
Michelle. Yeah, that's the viewer's name.
Yeah. No, Tilly Dog. Yeah, I was just confirming. That was all for health.
Oh, John B's joking. We haven't actually put him.
Oh, thank goodness for that. What are you having for your dinner, John B, as a matter of interest?
No, but Rachel's having steak kidney pie.
Oh, nice.
She's been put off.
Yes, that wouldn't surprise me. Stick a load of custard on it. You'll be all right. It makes it much nicer. Is anybody else having major surgery that we can look up live? Maybe we can link to a surgeon's webcam as he makes that first incision. Ooh. Maybe we won't do that on tonight's show. What do we got? You can't swallow. Sophie Blout says you can't swallow unless your tablet. Hang on.
Let me.
You do it.
Sophie Boult says you can't swallow unless you're on tablets. I have thyroid problems since I was 8. Your throat swells up and it's hard to swallow. Nasty.
Oh right, that is grim.
Have we turned into a clinic now?
Yes.
Bonnie Brighton says I've got COVID conjunctivitis.
What the hell is that?
I have no idea.
Is that a real thing or is that just a made-up thing?
I don't know.
Conjunctivitis is of the eyeballs, isn't it?
Yeah.
COVID conjunctivitis, is that like you've seen too much COVID stuff?
Maybe.
I've got a coronavirus disease. It's nothing to do with conjunctivitis.
I'm sure Bonnie will let us know in a minute. Sorry, Bon in Brighton.
Oh, is it not Bonnie anymore?
No, it's Bon in Brighton.
Oh, is it born in Brighton?
Yeah,
Was she born in Brighton?
Yeah, I believe so.
Right, fair enough.
Born in Brighton. That would
No
make
idea.
sense.
Lord Jeffrey, here we go. He says, when I had my kidney stones zapped, 3,000 zaps, like someone hitting you with a left stick band.
Sorry, Bon in Brighton says, look it up. 1 to 3% have COVID eye injection, she said. So I nearly,
Yeah, well, I did
emptied
just...
my stomach.
she
But
said
meant
look it up. I did
infection.
look it up.
COVID eye infection. Try eye infection. COVID eye infection.
All right, here we go. Treatment of COVID conjunctivitis, like any viral conjunctivitis, is self-limiting and can be managed with lubricants or cold compresses unless the cornea is involved. Well, don't talk to me about the cornea. I had 3 cornea transplants before I lost my eye.
It sounds like normal conjunctivitis.
Is it just they put COVID?
Oh, as in it's a result of having COVID.
Is it?
Conjunctivitis is a rare symptom of COVID.
Oh, it's a rare symptom of COVID. Oh, right, fair enough. Because we've all had conjunctivitis, haven't we? It's that horrible yellowy pus that sort of amalgamates in your eye.
Does that mean you've got conjunctivitis?
Yes. Have you got conjunctivitis
no,
or have you got
COVID.
COVID?
That's
Which
what
is
I
the one?
meant.
And also, have you had the vax? Because what's his name? Dvorak? Novaks. Djokovic? Novaks. Novaks. Isn't it funny how his name is Novaks and he doesn't want the vaccination?
I think it's not it's no. I don't know. I don't know what his name is actually. And you've said it so many
the
weirdly
tenny,
so many times.
the
it's
tenny
completely gone.
player, the tenny player, the tennis player, Jockey Novics.
That's cute. Sorry. Station Master's Choice says Oscar had made a scene with his Playmobil hospital staff this evening. When Station Master's Choice called, he was running around with his mask on, saying he needed a retractor or he couldn't do the operation.
Well, maybe a protractor would be all right. You could then get the radius or the circumference. Bonnie says I had COVID, but it's a late symptom. When you're all better.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's good. Well, we're glad you're all better anyway. Oh, yeah, Novak.
Novak.
Is it, what's his name? Djokovic. Jehovah Witness witch. Is he a Jehovah Witness witch? No. I think maybe we should play a video.
Yeah.
We're going into the video store. Let's see what's in there. Ah, yes. Now, oh, hang on. We got
Tell you
a
what's in
call.
the video box. A telephone
A
call.
telephone call.
What's it doing there?
We're going to the telephone call. We want to see who Bernie's heartthrob is.
Why does that keep happening?
Oh, it's because this... Yeah, sorry, it's my fault. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Could I make an appointment with the doctor?
Yes, of course you can. What are your symptoms?
Sorry, we're busy at the moment, but you can call back after 2 p.m.
No. We'll let him through. We'll let him through because he's got a Welsh lilt to his voice.
I actually phoned the doctor's surgery up once. This is Sean from London.
Is that what you said to her as well? Do you say that to everybody? I'm Sean from London.
I phoned the doctor's surgery once, and she said, "Oh, we don't do that here. Go straight down to the A&E."
Oh, did you? Really? For what? You don't have to tell us.
Yeah, that's a bit personal.
Make
isn't
it up. Make it up. I've got a runny nose.
I can't think what the issue was now, but because I had a problem with my hearing.
Ah, yeah. Oh, okay, fair
In
enough.
fact, they phoned me before Christmas to say, your appointment for New Year's Eve, we're going to cancel. And I said, well, this is about the 6th time I was doing 2.5 years ago. I said, look, just cancel the whole thing.
Yes.
And she said, oh, are you sure?
Are you sure? I'll just cancel the whole thing. Yes, I'm coming in for a heart operation, and we've cancelled it so many times that I can't be asked now. I don't need the heart. I'm going to do it myself. I've got this book. Do it
Kerry
yourself.
Baldwin is asking, why is there a helicopter circling her house since 8 o'clock? She needs to come to my house. There's a helicopter going over every 10 minutes.
Is that the eye in the sky? Do you know we used to say the eye in the sky? It was all made up. They didn't actually have a helicopter at all. They just put sound effects over and... The M25 is very busy at the moment. There's a tailback for 4 miles all the way back to Junction 9. I mean, they could just put that on repeat, really. Every night there was a tailback on Junction 9 on the M25. Or
in fact, people tend to go on the local Facebook groups to ask the question, why is the sky so clear tonight? Well, where are the helicopters?
Yeah, where are they all? Funny enough, I was driving back from South Harting towards Chichester to the A27, and I passed a helicopter parked on the roadside.
Oh.
I mean, it was a genuine helicopter.
That's uncommon.
Yeah, it was a black one. A black, like in the whirligigs from the 1960s. It was just sort of like, a little bean-shaped thing with a thing on it. It wasn't going. It was just parked up just on the side of the road. It's quite a big verge, and there was a house, and it's just like, maybe it's a flying doctor, or someone's just popped round to his mate. And then when I was filming, and you'll see this, you won't see it, but you'll hear it, right at the end of the video, in tomorrow's video, there was a microlight buzzing around. I was thinking, oh, piss off. I'm trying to do this last bit, and it was like... Eventually he went. I managed to get my filming, and then he came back, and it's like, oh, you're just flying about, annoying people.
Well, it was 8 years ago yesterday, according to my Facebook, because you know how they like to tell you've done stuff in the past.
Yeah.
It was 8 years ago yesterday that a helicopter got lost in the mist on the Thames and flew straight into a high-rise flat in Vauxhall.
Oh, yeah, I do seem to remember that in the news.
Because that was one of the jobs that I had to rush down to Vauxhall to film it.
Gosh, how did you get there? By car? Did you go in a Vauxhall?
Tube.
Oh, tube. I had a Vauxhall Viva once, years and years ago. The steering rack went on it. But anyway, that's another story.
You are aware of this, but I'm thinking about moving to Sussex, so I'll have to get a car myself then.
You will. You'll have to. Can you drive? Have you got? Have you had? Yes. You got a license?
Yes.
Oh, I see. The roads down here, compared to London, you'll find them empty. But compared to Wales, they are incredibly busy. Oh,
every time I've been to the countryside to film, there seems to be far more cars than in central London.
Yeah, it's very. I mean, along the south coast here is incredibly busy. But get into sort of like South Harting and some of those little villages along the north face of the South Downs. You're not so busy, but still busy. I mean, if you really want to get quiet places, then you've got to go up into Shropshire or somewhere like that.
Hey, that's interesting. Michael White says police helicopters are all flown by civilians. Is that true?
Well, the pilots are probably not policemen. They don't need to be, do they?
No, they don't need to be, but
Because it's not, you don't get the pilots leaping out after chase, lands in a field and then leaps out and goes, stand and deliver, or no, was it stop police? So yeah, I imagine that they are all flown by civilians.
Sometimes they park on the park next door to me.
Do they?
And they have this habit of flying over the house, and then they stay on top of the house, and that's where they then turn the helicopter around.
Well, upside down.
I tried to go outside to film it once, and it blew me off the wall.
That's very funny. So they, you've got a helipad on the top of your house, then? Is that what they do?
No, we have a building on the other side of my park. We have a police building which nobody is supposed to know about, but everybody seems to know about.
But is that because police cars come out of it, or helicopters come? It's like Thunderbirds, is it? The roof opens up.
Helicopters will come and they will bring computers for court cases that need to be searched. But it's one of the, because our internet will go down at certain points of the day, usually around about 12 o'clock in the night when they are doing something. But nobody is supposed to know what goes on. But if you go to the local cafe where all the workers go for their food, then you get to know everything that's going on.
I bet you do. How interesting. Isn't that funny? South Shropshire roads are quiet, says Will Martin. Absolutely. I think, especially if you get down to where's the name of that place? I made it the Humpback Bridge down at on the river where I did a video. I can't even remember the name.
There's quite a few places.
It's South Shropshire. It's lovely. It's a beautiful place. And there's a humpback bridge. When I say a humpback bridge, I don't actually mean a pack horse bridge. Clun. Thank you. Came to me. Clun. Round Clun.
Did you just thank yourself?
Yeah, I did just thank myself because my dad came up with it. Suddenly he said Clun and Clun Castle. It's all very quiet round there. It's lovely.
Ernie says, now and again I see military helicopters taking off in the distance. What's strange is that the nearest military base is Yeovil, 16 miles away. Special Forces training, maybe?
He's got just very good eyesight. That's what it is.
And Ray of Hope says he can't move to Sussex, we're full.
Yeah, we are, but you have to wait. It's one in, one out, actually, down here. Although, of course, the best way to move to Sussex these days is to get one of those inflatable boats. Then you can just come in, just climb up the beach. So that's the easiest way. And of course, you don't even have to be vaccinated. Are you still there? Have we lost him?
He's stunned to silence.
He's stunned to silence. Yeah, I don't blame him. So are you moving down to Sussex?
Well, I can't decide whether to move back to Wales or move to Sussex.
No, move to Sussex. Move to Sussex. We'll embrace you. Move to Sussex.
Come here.
You can come round and you can come in and have a cup of tea at the Vobes Centre. You could be on the show.
Yes.
You can fill in the days that Julia can't do and the days I can't do. And improve the show no end.
I'm trying to find somewhere that is like countryside, but say 15 minutes to a very busy high street seaside resort.
That's all of Sussex. At the moment, the rate of the new builds, you're about 5 minutes away. If you're in the countryside, you're 5 minutes from a house.
Well, this is the thing. You can buy a house, but who's to say that in a year's time you'll be surrounded by houses?
Well, this is that. I mean, absolutely. That is the big problem of buying anywhere especially in the southeast. You buy it and you think, look at that lovely field, that beautiful view. And the farmer thinks, I can make several million out of that. I'll sell it to a developer, and before you know it, 400 houses, bang, 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 bang.
Boom. Bonnie in Brighton says Sussex is expensive. Well, she actually puts pounds.
It can be expensive, but it depends how you live. I mean, I'm living very frugally at the moment, out of necessity.
When I say house, I'm thinking of a house, say 30 foot by 20 foot, a tiny house.
30 foot by 20 foot.
You mean a literal tiny house? You're going to build yourself a tiny house and come live on a bit of land?
Yes. All I need is just give me a field somewhere.
Well, that's what I'm after, is a field. Trying to find a field which the trouble with fields in Sussex is they've all got horses on them. And so as a result of that, it's very expensive, because it's very horsey round here. And horses are very expensive. I don't understand why, because these horses don't do anything anymore. Just people get on them and ride them, but they don't work, do they?
Somerset.
Apart from the race horses.
And good therapy.
I went to somebody's house in Somerset, and that was a very small house. And I said, "Isn't this house a bit too small?" And he said, "Well, I spend all my time in the garden, so as long as I've got somewhere to make food and sleep in the toilet, that's all that I need."
Well, listen, you better move quick, because I've got a shed. You could go in the shed, but I'm pulling it down soon.
£20 a week.
£20 a week.
Station Master's Choice says, I know just the place for Sean. Samest House in the country, I think, on the High Street in Northiam. Don't know if I said that right.
Samest House. Hang on, let's have a look. Hang on, we'll find it.
Let's have a look for you.
Get it up on the Google.
Yeah, hang on. Copy and paste that quickly. We've got a video to play in before we disappear, but let's just have a quick...
Smallest house in the country on the High Street in Northiam.
Samest House.
Smallest, he meant smallest.
Oh, smallest, I beg your pardon.
Yeah.
Is this...
Put smallest house in Northiam.
Is that it?
Oh, yeah.
Is that the one? I don't know where that is. Here, is this the one? 6 foot wide.
Where did it say it is?
I don't know. The smallest house in Great Britain is...
Alexandria, VA. Oh, no, it...
Is that in America? Can't be. The smallest house in Great Britain, it says. And then it talks about...
Yeah, then it talks about other places.
I don't know where that is. There's a castle down the road.
It's funnier than this. That in central London, somebody was trying to rent out rooms for £700 a month. And when you saw the picture, this guy had put sheds into the living room.
Well, I suppose they can fill them up with migrants, can't they?
Yeah.
That's what's happening.
Anyway,
better
get on.
Yeah, nice to talk to you. Thank you, Sean.
Take
Saw a
care.
video on.
Yeah, look after yourself.
Bye.
Bye. There we go. Right.
Oops.
So, we better get on with that
I really
video.
want to see this Northiam.
Yeah,
one now.
the Northiam. Well, how do you pronounce Northiam?
And North.
Hang on.
No, the smallest house in...
smallest house in...
North.
Oh, here it is, Northiam. Is that it?
Yeah.
Where is that? That's the same one.
No, it can't be.
Oh, here we go. Another. We're trying to get to the video.
That was the smallest house in Conwy we saw.
Oh, right. Hello, caller. Welcome to the show. Goodbye, caller. And nice of you to come on the show.
Shake it all about.
I don't know where it is. Is this it? Is this Northiam? Smugglers? It's very difficult. I mean, send us a link. That's the answer. I have no idea. You put in Northiam and then who knows where it is. Oh, Sussex. Here we are. This might be it. Let's have a look at this one. Try this. This one in the top right. Let's see.
I think I remember reading about that.
It's a...
It
What?
used to be a donkey cart shed.
Here we go. Sandwiched between two unrelated... Look at that.
Hello.
Hello, caller. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Is that...
That smallest house in red is Conway.
Oh, yes. The one is Conway in Wales, is it?
Yeah.
Could you turn down your
Just a second.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was occupied up until, I don't know, fairly recently.
Oh,
In
right.
living memory.
Gosh, and how many people? Is it a sort of family of 6 in there?
Well, probably 16 or something.
16,
I don't know.
yeah. A small house like that, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to bring your name to my head because I know it so well. And because you're in... Don't tell me. Oh, God, my brain
Thinking
tonight...
fingers didn't work.
No, they do.
Oh.
It's the Milton Keynes. You're
It is indeed.
Yes,
Ted Moulding.
Ted. Ted. I was going, what's his name? What's his name? I was thinking, because obviously we've rung many, many times. Yeah, so any light on where this Northiam place is?
No idea.
No, I haven't a clue.
That looks awesome,
No.
though.
But the one where we found another small house. But who wants to live in I mean, I know Sean mentioned a tiny house, but wouldn't you just it would fill with clutter, wouldn't you?
Well, you'd have to be remarkably disciplined.
Well,
Yeah.
you would definitely have to be remarkably disciplined, and I don't, I couldn't. I'm enjoying living on my own in a 2-up 2-down house with all these extra rooms to have for studios and all of that.
I must admit, as cute as that looks, that I couldn't. For me, the whole point of living in a tiny house would be to be able to just plonk it, on a plot of land.
Oh, so you've got land as well as the house.
Yes, and to be closer to nature. Oops.
Yeah. Whereas
so that you're like we were just saying about, so you're spending more time outside than you are in a lot of the time. But then again, it's also to design it in a way that it brings the outside in, like large windows or lots of little windows. That you've got a couple of tiny windows at either end. It's going to be quite.
It's
dark
basically
in there
like
without
living
lights.
in a series of sheds, one on top of the other. There, isn't it?
Basically,
Yeah.
yes.
It's smaller than it looks like.
What's your house like, Ted? Is it a big house?
It's about 200 square metres.
I have absolutely no idea what 200
no
square.
concept
I cannot picture what that means.
Well, basically, it is a so-called 4-bedroomed house.
Ah,
family
there you
house.
go. 4-bedroom house. There we are. So is detached or semi-detached?
It's detached.
Oh, so with a nice big bit of land round it.
No, it's got a reasonable sized garden, which was one of the reasons for taking it.
Southern face.
So that the children had somewhere to play.
South facing.
It is the garden is south facing,
Oh, there we are.
and the front of the house is north facing.
4-bedroom house, Milton Keynes, £846,000. There we are.
I wish.
Oh dear, oh dear. Apparently, house prices have gone up in the last year because I managed to sell my dad's dilapidated bungalow, and I went past there the other day, and it looks incredibly lovely. It's something we couldn't afford to have done in order to sell it on, but it's probably worth considerably more than we sold it now, which is a shame.
Or it would go to some kind of developer.
Yes, I'm not sure.
Yeah,
I mean,
builder.
in the end, you don't really know who is buying it. In the end, we were just getting so desperate because it'd been on the market for 2 years,
Yeah.
and nobody was buying it, and we'd had so many mispromises and things. So we just said, look, we'll just take whatever comes really, and just get out because it was. Well,
Taking too long.
We were still paying all standing charges on all the which we had to pay for, of course,
All the council tax
and the
and
council
things.
tax, and we had We did get 6 months off, but we had 18 months of council tax, and it was in something like Band B.
I find that ridiculous because they're not emptying the bins.
No, but you are paying for the police because if it was broken in, apparently you'd want the police to go round. Well, they don't go round if you get burgled anyway. So
Why would anyone go into an empty house?
Well, you might-
You just look in the window and you see it's empty.
Yeah.
Nothing to see.
Yeah,
there.
but
If
yeah.
the water
I mean,
bursts-
squatters.
if the-
If someone got in and was squatting in it, you'd want the police involved. But then again, how often do the police get involved with squatting?
Well, we were right because we left a couple of chairs, so they were fine.
They wouldn't be squatting. I
Yeah,
get it.
there you go.
I did think for a moment, I was like, what?
Everyone a gem.
None of them
Anyway.
funny.
Anyway, Ted, yes, I can't remember
Let's go.
what you rang up for now.
Only about that little red house.
Oh yes, it's up in Conway. What part of Wales is that?
That's North Wales.
North Wales.
North Wales, Conway, Llandudno,
Oh,
whatever.
yeah, I know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those
That one's-
didnos
Can you
up in
scroll the thingies down? 'Cause
which things?
The
Yeah,
chat.
it's right next to the castle. Conway Castle,
Ah, right, okay.
which
Scottish.
you can sort of see in a bit of it.
Yeah. There's a lot of
Yeah.
those didnos, isn't there? Llandudno. And whenever I see there seems to be a lot of didnos, and I think, well,
Yeah.
surely they went
Got
to
a clan
school,
as well.
and they must have known, surely. Anyway, we better move on. We've got this video to get in. We've got 3 minutes of the show left.
Better gallop along then.
Yeah, sorry, Ted. But lovely. Thank you
Catch
very
you
much
later.
for letting us know.
Bye for now.
Take care.
Bye.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Ted up in Milton Keynes. Very nice. Thank you, Ted. Now, listen, no more phone calls for this evening. We're going to get over to Bernie's video. He's got a date with Blanche, or Blanche. Not quite sure what it is. So who is this this woman that Bernie is seeing, or is it something else? Let's go into the video box. Oh, we're already there apparently, and find out. Oh, we're not actually already there. I've got to go through the rigmarole again. There we go. Let's go through the rigmarole and find out.
Well, here we are again, off on our travels. And once again we find ourselves travelling down the Vale of Festiniog beside the River Doirid. Now, you'll see how it's still quite large at these upper reaches, but remember the video the other day, it got very narrow when we went over the bridge very quickly. In this particular segment, you'll see how it begins to widen out into the estuary, and then in a moment, as we come to the end, you'll see where it just turns around to the left, and that's where it really begins to widen out, as you've seen before. It just gives you some idea of the topography of the area as we're driving through it. I wonder where we're going today.
Just by this small archway here. There's a train coming, there we go, just on the left hand side. You're up higher than me, so you'll get better view. Going past it now, there you go. There's a dinky one, that's called Blanche.
Yes, we are at the Royal Porth Festiniog in Porthmadog, down at the harbour. This was the world's first, or perhaps better still, Britain's first passenger carrying narrow gauge railway from 1865 onwards, officially. But it was carrying passengers long before that. And we're moving out onto the Cobb, built by William Maddox in 1810. Now, I was telling you in an earlier video about the Doirid meeting the Glaslyn in a huge lagoon. Well, we can see it quite clearly. We're moving out onto it now. This is Traithmower, and this is what Maddox, if you like, built a dike, or the Cobb as we know it, over in order to gain farmland on the other side, of which you will see more later on. But you can quite clearly see here, can't you, how vast this big lagoon is. And in a moment or two I'll show you where, there it is. Now you remember from when we saw the estuary of the Doirid at Port Myrian, just how vast that was. Now look at the size of Traithmower. When the tide comes in, the volumes of water, unimaginable, really. We're just coming into Boston Lodge Works now. It's the oldest surviving working railway works, and we're just passing one of Fairley's patent double boilered engines. Blanche and Linda were two locos rescued from the Pendring quarries when they closed in the early 60s. And Blanche was the first loco I travelled behind on the Festiniog way back in 1967. Wow, was it really that long ago? We're just coming into Minfirth now. This is the interchange station between the Festiniog and the National Rail Network. It's also where we will release the single track token from Porthmadog and get the single track token that gives us permission to travel on the next section of line, probably right through as far as Tannivolk now. Change the token.
There's no electric rails there, is there?
Get your tokens ready. Tokens out. Tokens. So there we are. It was a lovely little token ride for you travellers on trains. Thank you so much, Bernie.
Something just so special about steam trains, isn't there?
Oh, lovely. Lovely. Something very just romantic in a way that you wouldn't ordinarily associate coal burning these days. But there you go.
Yeah.
Anyway, we thank you very much, Bernie. Look forward to the next one.
Another fine video. Thank you.
And there was I waiting with bated breasts for this buxom bird with the large bosoms called Blanche, but never happened, never materialised. A date with a train. Still, I like dates. Actually, I must go and try and get some dates. They're quite nice. Conor McLeod has sent in a picture of a small house. It looks very idyllic. Look at that. On top of a river. One up, one down.
No, on top of a bridge, over a river.
Fantastic. And
gorgeous.
And I think Sean James Cameron has emailed in a picture of his house.
He's decided he likes Bernie's suggestion. And that's his new house.
That is it.
Smuggler's Cottage, Main Road, Northiam.
Northiam in East Sussex. There we go. Finally.
That is adorable.
I'll have to go to Northiam as it's in East Sussex. I've never heard of it, Northiam. But there we are. Anyway, that's it for tonight's show. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been very lovely to have a conversation all around the houses, from open heart surgery to the tiniest house. Well, we didn't talk about open heart surgery, but all those different things. All good stuff. You never quite know what you get on this show. Anyway, tomorrow, Ricky is coming in.
This show's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get.
Yeah, especially with them custard creams.
You're a custard cream.
Yeah, thanks. Big thanks to the lovely Julia for making the show work by pedalling underneath and staying serenely gentle like a swan on top. To Judith out there for doing all the moderation, and Bernie for the video, Zane for his pictures, and of course you for tapping away on the screen, making it all worthwhile. We actually generate all the electricity that you tap. It comes into our central bank, our nervous bank system. You could see how nervous it is. Anyway, that's it. Take care, look after yourself, have fun. Back again tomorrow, same time, same place, different person.
And thank you for putting it all together. Night, night, everybody.
Night, night.